Okay, everyone, again, thank you very much. Again, everyone, thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your participating. As I already said, thank you all your time and your effort and put together so many things and to come or participate. Is thank you very much for those your beautiful your dedication to the Dharma. And today again I'm going to continue to talk teachings on the His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, which is the simple, direct, but yet so powerful essence teaching about entirely Buddhas for the practitioners, those who like to be practices. It is really has everything. So I'm going to go through this as we've been doing, and I'm going to go over this again, where we left last time. We go over this. And again to do this, and just we, again, always in the teaching said, teaching of the Buddha and lineage masters often said, when you practice meditating, studying, contemplating on the teaching of a Buddha, is always so important and necessary to correct the motivations. Motivation, our motivation or our intention changes the direction of the teaching or the practices. In the teaching, in Buddhism teaching said, teaching is like nectar. Teaching is like nectar. But if our motivation is not prepared to receive that nectar, then nectar won't walk exactly as should walk. So therefore, intention or the motivation is so important. And who controls the motivation? No one else except one's own self. So that means I control my motivation by me. And you control your motivation by you. There's no one else. There's not second person. We have the full capabilities, right, and opportunities. So therefore, since we are all interested, devoted to the Dharma, and therefore, to make this more meaningful, more powerful, more kind of strong and profound impact to ourselves, and also some degree help to the others, is the motivation ourselves. That motivation, what are those motivations? Of course, we spoke, and you all know this. We spoke, and you all know from the great masters. But those are this time is simple, is joy and appreciations. Joy and appreciation, being grateful, gratitude, being graceful. Second is bodhicitta. Everybody down bodhicitta, most simple way, is loving kindness and compassion with wisdom or intelligence. That is bodhicitta, mind of enlightenment. It has a big name, mind of enlightenment. Truly, it is mind of enlightenment. When we reach enlightenment or Buddhahood, what will happen? Our bodhicitta become full bloom, full brilliant, without any restrictions of the dualities and habitual patterns. Full bloom of as like full moon of our bodhicitta, that is known as enlightenment, Buddhahood. Buddhahood. So that started right now. We have that. It's our potential, our qualities, our richness. We're revealing that. Why we reveal? Make ourselves more profound and peaceful, beneficial, and bring peace and happiness, harmony to the other beings. That is what the bodhicitta is. Really. There's no any other cause, any reason, or third or fourth causes. Bodhicitta is all one package. That's what in the teaching said. Oh, one technique, one powerful method. That is what. So therefore, again, activating bodhicitta. Our bodhicitta or love, compassion has no boundaries. Or bodhicitta has no boundaries. Pervasive, all the beings of 6 realms. We went through that. I'm just reminded that to us, to each other. It's not something that you don't know. I'm really reminded for us. Really, genuinely that attitude, thought, open our heart widely as a sky and radiating that energy as a beams of light to every living beings. If we do that, truly we are the very good practitioners. Simple, down to the ground, but very effective. That's what all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas did. We are following perfectly examples of the footsteps, or their footsteps. So, activated those beautiful thoughts. And then together with this, Vajrayana teaching, the purity, the ordinary nature, as everything is. The ordinary nature or reality, where things are. Where things are reality level, without the disturbance of the duality, habit pattern, everything is purity status. Subject is purity status, object is purity status. Or if I use another terminology, subject is enlightened, object is enlightened status. You read those books, I'm sure you already read so many books. And the books, all that those Inner Tantras teaching, explaining where things are. So now, we're going to embracing that view, that idea, that philosophy, without the interference of the duality or the habit patterns, skeptical, doubt, and hesitations. Just without any fear, F-E-A-R, fears, jump to this view, be in this status. Enjoy. This state is full of love, joy, appreciation, calm, peace. All the emotions, what we have always disturbed by the emotions, is gone. It's gone. Even there is no trace. That's gone. So that is our really goal. To, again, according to Vajrayana teaching, that started right now. It's not waiting for some times in the future. Now is the time to activate that. So those are known as motivation, but at the same time, it is our practices, our meditation. These are cornerstones, or the pillar of the practices. And with those understanding, and now we, again, with those beautiful motivations, and again, is just we try to be all of us in those motivations. You and me, everyone. We are all practitioners. We are all following the teachings according to our best capabilities. Please, so activated those from both sides. That means from my side and as well as from your side, activated. Now we go to the His Holiness teachings that. And now we are in this, again, of course, is short, page 2. Page 2 and the third lines. Third lines, we are. So what is the teaching said? This is, again, the teachings on the highlight of the 4 treasures of the practitioners. 4 treasures. Or for wealth. Or for richness of the practitioners. If we have these 4 intact and a precious status, we will be really good practitioners. We will be truly bodhisattvas, or yogi and yoginis. Truly, not just a name. We are truly. Why we know the status many times? Because these 4 treasures are fluctuating, up and down, and just all because of our dualities, habit patterns, and the distractions we engage in the world all the time. And so, therefore, if we activate this, then really, truly, our practice Dharma will be always fresh, new, never going to expire our intensity of the joy and appreciations. It will be fresh all the time. Just brand new, it really will stay. Brand new. But yet, it will develop, progressing. All the realizations and signs and result of the practices practitioners mentioned in the teaching will shine beautifully. Perfectly, it's all shine. As much as it's shining, our heart and mind has become calm, peaceful, more courage, more commitment, more patient, down to the earth, more humble, more simple, more sensibles, more common senses. Now, all good things, what we explained and what we're talking in the world, in the samsara, really will come naturally without any effort. Because we are opening the treasures of our own richness without the interference of the dualities and habit patterns. What is the difference between duality and habit pattern? Habit pattern is created by the dualities. It's not two different species. It's all connected, all created. Habit pattern is developed by the duality, and then we become more familiar of that duality's activity, then it becomes the habit patterns, habituals. Then it becomes so used to be, so easy. We don't have to make any kind of difficulty troubles of the habit patterns. It just flows. Why? According to teaching, our habit pattern is not just happened this lifetime. Previous lifetime. So we have the full package of the habit patterns. We are adding more habit patterns in these lives of that. And then we become completely saturated, sucked in the habit patterns and the dualities. We don't have to make any effort of any of our habit pattern activities, such as emotions, anything. It just comes so suddenly. So effortless. But on the other hand, our really treasures of the bodhicitta, joy and appreciations, calm and peaceful, how much we have to make effort. How much we have to make effort. Because we're completely weak. Many of, I'm not saying we all, many of us, weak and poor of those richness because we couldn't reveal enough due to our interference of the ongoing habit patterns and duality activities. So, this time, by the teaching of the Buddha, it's ushering, it's light coming to on these shared sports, shadow support or shared sports. The gracious kindness, compassion, wise teacher, Buddha lighted, shine, sport of this our habit patterns. So dispel, and we built up, revealing our nature beauty. Then it becomes calm and peaceful. Those stages, what in the teaching now named, different levels of the bhumis or the path, is a development of how much we're revealing our treasures, the ordinary, pure treasures. That is what it is. So, with those, again, kind of just a reminding, with those reminding of some points, and with this, now we go to this fourth point, or fourth richness of the wealth of the practitioners. Here, what His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche said here, as we translated that here, the reduction of the grasping due to the knowledge that all compounded things are impermanent. In a Tibet, what they said here, Dubze mata lona tuwa. So that's it, Dubze. So that Dubze is translated here as compounded things. Mata means impermanent. Lona tong is here translated reduce the grasping. And reduce the grasping, so to whom or to where we reduce the grasping? To all these compounded forms. Why we reducing grasping to the compounded? Because all is impermanent. Everything is impermanent. This impermanent topic, according to Buddhism, or in the Buddhism actually, is highlight topics. Many times we think impermanent, oh, that's just casual. It is casual. It is simple. It is basic. But yet, it is so powerful, impermanent. And in according to Buddha's teaching, the first his teaching, when he gave the Four Noble Truth teaching, this is his teachings, impermanent. Four Noble Truths are, of course, you all know. Again, I just list names. Suffering truth, cause of suffering truth. Cessation truth, and path truth. Those are the Four Noble Truths. Now maybe you're wondering, where is this impermanent that they mentioned in this Four Noble Truths? If you look carefully on the book, on the teaching, the each Four Noble Truth is divided into four subdivisions. Four subdivisions. The first one, for example, suffering truth. What in the division? What is suffering truth? Really, what is suffering truth? This is more philosophical level or reality level. Suffering truth is impermanent. Suffering and suffering truth is uncomfortable. And suffering truth is emptiness. And suffering truth is egolessness. That is subdivision of the the first noble truth of the suffering truths. This first three, impermanent, impermanent, and the suffering or the challenge, and the emptiness, it is, and then and the egolessness. Those are the four divisions of the suffering truths. This division of four suffering truth is also another named in the Buddha teaching, seal of the significance of the Buddhist doctrines or the Buddha's teachings. Seal, the hallmark, or mark, hallmark, seal, S-E-A-L. 4 seals. What are those? And this is slightly different. All compounded forms are impermanent. All emotions are challenges. And all phenomena are free from the existing or phenomena are all emptiness and egolessness. Nirvana is peaceful. That is, those are the 4 seals of that significance of the great compassionate teachers. This is also these are known as in Buddhism lines roads. Lines roads. The road by the lines. Those the jungle kings. Lines roads. Why this named? Because they are true. It's not believing talks. This is reality, where things are. To explain that and explore that reality where things are, that is lines road. Truth is lines road. Has no any kind of force. Everyone, we can validate it is true or not. This is not just believing. You have to follow that. Oh, Buddha said we follow. That's what in the Buddhism teaching said, blindfold following. Or following with blindfold. Validate that your own cognitions. Western cognition is true or not. So for example here, all compounded things are impermanent. Here translated things, but all compounded forms are impermanent. Why? Because they're compounded. They're not there before. It's all combination of the cause and conditions. And combination of cause and condition producing things. Where is producing? Is cooperating perfectly beautiful. That which is known as, in Buddhism, interdependent systems. Interdependent, interconnected systems. That everything is interconnected systems. Everything. What that means? Subject and object, everything is interdependent, where things are. Yet it needs cause. It needs conditions. That cause is, there's no single entity causes. Also, so many combinations. So many entities come together, as known as in samsara we call cause. But it has so many entities, so many particles of that. That conditions, also not just the conditions, solid one entities. So many factors, so many conditions are cooperating perfectly to that cause and developing things, coming things, and changing and transforming, moving forward. And that is known as impermanent. Everything. Therefore, impermanent, there is two impermanents. In the samsara, those we human beings see impermanent, and reality is happening impermanent. Sometimes it's translated or in the teaching, say the rakpa matapa, thava matapa in Tibet, means gross impermanent, subtle impermanent. Gross impermanent, we observe, we all see things. Or is changing, or is changed. When there's something happen, or is changed. We see. We don't need any logics or the reasoning. Everybody knows. This is logic. But what that actually means changing. There's no solid structure or no pause. P-A-U-S-E. There's no pause. Even 1 second, there is no pause. Pause is moving forward. That is known as impermanent. Gross level. Everything is really in that status. What that tells, according to Buddhism, it shows is the openness, emptiness. Is not true existence. That is illusion. This illusion didn't mean is bad. It's like magic. We watch magic shows, oh, this is magic. But reality, magic is happening all the time. Now what we watch, and as well as watchers. Watcher and that watch is all in a magic status. For those reasons, so many great masters, those who are realizations, so less grasping. And here His Holiness Great Master, His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche said, reduce the grasping. The density of grasping, strength of grasping, reduce. Because our grasping is so solid, so fixed. Fixed. But where we solid, what fixing? What we fixed? The reality level, everything is changing. When we fix something, then we get to react. Then we got all the mental problems, psychological problems, emotional problems, everything. Then we get really all those so many difficult troubles and things. And then that also react to our body in the physical, everything become kind of like that, is almost unbalanced. Because where it started, mostly it is fixation of our grasping, clinging to our grasping, what we think that is. Then that's what it is. So this is gross impermanent. And gross impermanent is that, as I said, is whole things. The whole, this like, for example, the day and the night, and the year and the month. Those we know, oh, this year changing, month is changing, day is changing. We think kind of that happened there. But reality is happening every second or every instant. Instant, all that happened. That. So those are the gross levels. That everybody knows that. But what we do, what we think, is only that time happened. Mostly we human beings think when that happened or that happened just now. Reality, according to the teaching, according to the reasoning, it is really changing all the time. So therefore, reduce the grasping. Gradually, reducing the grasping is fundamental practices. The foundation of practices. Grasping clear. So that means what will become? Our heart becomes softer, calmer, more peaceful, and more tolerance or more patience. And then also, the more love and kindness, kind of good energy will flow to our streams of the physical, in the brains, or the spirits. Then, subtle impermanent, how they measure? Subtle impermanent is measured according to Buddhism, said, for example, this snapping, one snapping, is divided at least 60 portions. This snapping, that is gross levels. So this snapping, how they divided this? According to ancient Buddhist logics, for example, if you put 60 petals, 60 lotus petals, and you put sharp needle, and when you put that sharp needle from the top to the bottom, how long it takes? In this, less than this duration of the one snapping. That sharp needle went 60 different stages, one after another. It's not just happened one time at that. Even though we see as an instant happened, but it went 60 times. That's the gross levels. Even some teaching said 360 petals put that. So that means that even though it's a second like this snapping, that moment, how many instants are changing? How many instants? How many the second or the moment is changing? That it's just flash of light. We cannot detect that. We cannot detect it. But reality is changing. That means it's not permanent. It's not solid. It means it's completely openness. Changing. This is not just only this. In the modern time, maybe we use, or I use this, I don't know exactly is connected to that. For example, when we are here and calling to India, we go through a belief satellite, whatever, but that talk, our talking, went and reached 1 second. I believe 1 second. So that means that 1 second, how many passed? Miles. How many miles passed? India is not right here. And I'm not right in India. But it reached that instant to India. And when they talk, it's reached to me. Instantly. What that mystery is? That means time and the distance are illusion. There's nothing really exists. For those reasons, in the Buddha teaching, said, 1 instant transformed in eons, eon transformed in one instance. One atom fit whole universe, and the universe become one atoms. Those are very sophisticated teachings in Buddhism. See, it is very teaching is reality. It is, but through these modern technologies, we are some degree exploring that through technologies. But when we developed our mental capabilities, the inner personal capabilities, it is more powerful, according to the teaching, more powerful, more profound, more vastness, and therefore, always in the teaching mentioned, is beyond of the explanations, is inexpressible, inconceivable. This is not just making up things or trying to avoid that. The reality level is so beyond the conceptions. But who will see that? When we reach the full realization of the enlightenment, then we see it as it is. For those reasons, in the Buddha teaching mentioned, for example, said that like healthy young man, the moment he extended the arms, that moment, like extended and bend, pull in, put in and pull in. That moment, Mongol Putra went around the universe, 3,000-fold universe, and it returned back to the same spots. Or for example, Jetavi Groves or Sharasada. One movement with the elbow, healthy man, or young man, young healthy man, or can be woman too, man and woman. But that moment, those all in the teaching mentioned, or it is beyond our measure of capabilities. But modern time, the scientific, we're exploring this to some degree, all what Buddha teaching mentioned, such as talking to the other side of the world. That instant. So where is gone the distant in the time? Where that gone? We cannot say, oh, is India is right close here. No. Or no, United States is close to India. It's all. It's obviously the way things are. It's just magical display. But all where things are appearing on the relative level is interdependent coordination systems. All connected, cooperating, and existing, merging, reactivating. The flow is continuations. There's nothing will stop. It's continuations. From the beginning time until now, it will move that. But where that happening? All that happening within the vastness of space of emptiness as magicals. And never lost those entities, our origin flavor of the emptiness. Everything is within this emptiness. And for that reason, great teacher Buddha mentioned, form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. That's a true statement. It's true, according to Buddhism. You can violate it. Because now we see this impermanent, where things are really. Impermanent is so profound, so powerful. According to Buddha's teaching, when you realize this impermanent, exactly as it is, our grasping is gone. Our ego clinging is gone. And our joy and peace are just flashing or coming as like spring waters. And everything is also see the emptiness. The flexibleness, when things are changing, that open space, flexibleness, there's no blockage. For those reasons, Great Master Maharaj said, if there is in the universe, he used example, if there is such things existing, permanent, one atom if existing permanent, solid, without any changing, that will block the whole functional system of the universe. It will block that one fraction of the atoms is solid, permanent. Function of the whole world. So that means, eventually, that's almost spontaneous. We cannot speak to each other. We cannot hear each other. We cannot smell each other. We cannot talk to each other. All our senses are blocked because the solid not moving. And then our consciousness and everything. So that means everything is so open, so flexible, so movement. Is because this flexible openness of this way things are. This is what in the Buddhist teaching, this impermanent is not just a false statement, or it is not just a kind of trying to intimidate us, trying to see things where things are. Exactly. Find out exactly where things are. That is our responsibilities. Exactly where things are. And also those are according Buddhist kind of briefly and just according Buddhism doctrines. This is principles, doctrines, impermanent. It's not just a casual. Of course, many times in the teaching mentioned this four renunciation thought and the precious body and impermanent and the cause and effect is inevitable and samsara has a lot of challenge. We always talk, is casual, is ordinary hundo practices, all that said. But reality, this is the fundamental, really so powerful, so special, so special. And then when you have the realizations of this, of the impermanent, we will appreciate our lives, our friends, our family members, where we are together, as in the mandala of the interdependent coordination. We really will appreciate. We're thankful every time and grateful. We become the beautiful human beings, not flying in the sky or kind of like going through the wall. I'm not talking of those. But we become beautiful human beings. As Buddha Shakyamuni himself, he was perfect human being in the level. Humble, simple, down to the earth. What he said, what he taught, he followed with that. Even he is enlightened. That is what is. And now with those understanding, so that briefly kind of talking about the subtle impermanence. Now we talk kind of more practice level, how we practice of this. Always in the teaching said, meditating on the impermanent. Those are in the teaching, Great Master Khenpo Rinpoche said, in the Kuntuzangpo Lama Shalom, or words of my perfect teacher. That is what teacher said, how you will meditate. And I will list it, and then you will look to the words of my perfect teacher. You can look to there. You can look and exactly follow that. I will list how he said. The sense is impermanent is so important. Our grasping, clinging is so hard. It don't connect very well. It really don't connect. It's always like hard balls. Hard balls. It's just this like impermanent is the way things are, but our hard ball, ego clinging, grasping is hard ball, and it just don't penetrate that to our ego clinging or our grasping. So therefore, we think more kind of in the practice level, intellectually, analytic way to remembering of this impermanent. How those are in the teaching said. Reflecting the mind to the universe, it is impermanent. Reflecting the mind to the universe. Or if I say world, W-O-R-R-L-D, world, see things. And then second is reflecting the impermanent inhabitant of the world, who lives in that world. And then reflecting the mind of the impermanent over all the noble beings, all holy beings, reflecting. And third, fourth, reflecting the impermanent over all the powerful persons in this universe. And then reflecting the impermanent. And reflecting the impermanent variety of the examples and the meanings. And reflecting the impermanent meditation over the then now so those are more kind of like externally to look into all, but then look to ourself, one's own self, reflecting the ourself also meditation on ourself, or reflecting the meditation to ourself, each ourselves, self, and then reflecting strongly. Reflecting the meditation strongly to the impermanent. So those are highlighted by great Master Papa Rinpoche in the Kuntuzangpo Shalom, or World's My Perfect Teachers. And so that what that means, you will know when you read the book, which is a very popular book, and you will see. But this means the universe is not permanent. Even though it looks so solid, it's so strong and all that, according to Buddhism, it came. It's here now. But it will go away, according to Buddhism. Really going there. So all this universe is subject to within the impermanent. And then all the beings who live in this world, they are not also permanent. How many things, the generations, the civilizations changed, that we read his stories. From the beginning time as recorded, or the Stone Age, Iron Age, all those so many really explanations that you all know. That means it changed. It went one after another. And all inhabitants in different countries, and how many things changed. There's no ever existing anything generally thinking of this, all inhabitants of the beings. And then we call the holy beings. That means such great beings. Those beings, or those in the according to the teaching, life story we read, they flew in the sky. They transformed fire into the water, water into the fire. One item for many items. Many atoms, one pieces. They changed. They had such those capabilities. And there's a story in the World's My Perfect Teacher, whenever you look at. There's like one time, Malarepa is doing meditation on the caves. Not one time. When Malarepa is meditating in the caves, some hunters came because he's not moving at all, not doing any responding, not moving at all. They thought it's kind of demons, something very kind of also the very strong looking that, and they come closely, and they again trying to speak with, never corresponded or responded, and then they hold and throw in the cliffs outside. And the moment they throw, the great master come back to the same spot. They did many times like that. So they couldn't do anything. In end. So this is one of the examples of that. And there's so many stories of the Buddhism, and as well as other religions too. There's so many stories, those holy beings really perform so many unbelievable activities. They have power, they have capabilities. Looks like everything is under their command, their wishes. But yet, all become as merely his stories, or merely in the memories. One after another. There's no exceptions. How things that. And then, In the teachings, the Papa Rinpoche teaching said all the powerful beings reflect in the powerful beings. How they are like? Well, they are ruling. Well, they are alive. The whole world is trembling of their powers, their dominance, their dignities, their strengths. But then, left so quietly. So that's it. There's nothing can prevent. They gone. So in that way, check after one after another. Really, it's so clear. So this is where the world is. That's where all the subjects are, objects are. This. For that reason, he always said, reflect the impermanent. That is not just making us a burden, but we are lighting, shading on our dark corners of the knowledges. We think so. It really will help. So now, with this, again, what I said, we need to have the realization of the impermanent. We need to understand, then our Dharma practice will go smooth. We are grounded. When we chant what's called 4 garlands of the teachings by the Gampopa and the Lungchimpas, what is it? May my mind turn toward the Dharma. Why this statement is? When you have the realization of this impermanent, and with those treasures, our mind is really like into the Dharma. The prayer is answered. That time, mind, we see it truly as it is. So what that will become? Our mind or our heart become more softer, calmer, peaceful. As I said earlier, when that happened, all our wisdoms begin to shine. We become more sensible, with full common senses, more kind, more love and compassion, more kind to ourselves, one's own self, kind to the others. That is then really is harmony, peace. Then everything can't be like, everything comes so perfectly. And so that is what is really impermanent. But again, now I go, this is what we listed as a great master, His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche said. First is devotions. Second is the affection to the Sangha practitioners. And the third is compassion and loving kindness to all the beings of the 6 realms. And then always have less graspings, trying to less graspings. And because that intellectually and practical level, there's nothing is really lasting forever, therefore more can calm and peaceful, open heart, relax and not so tense with anything that we just can more relax. And if we do that, and that will really make, then as I said, our mind will turn to the Dharma. When mind is turned toward the Dharma, then what it will bring? It will bring calm and peacefulness. Then that is also in the Buddha teaching named the discipline one's own mind. This will discipline one's own mind. What in the end, which I always, that is my teaching, what the gracious teacher said. That is my time, teaching. When your mind is tamed, or when our mind is tamed, then we touch the essence of the teaching, and we are touching to the essence of our heart and our nature. Then all the realization and progress really will come so beautifully and perfectly. And that is my talk for today. Thank you very much again for the participations. And again, thank you very much. And I just thought to tell you that there's slightly changed schedules. Next Sunday, we won't have teaching, or my talk will be postponed to the following Sunday. And the next Sunday is the anniversary of our great teacher, Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche's Mahaparinirvana. What?
Friday the 19th.
Oh, Friday the 19th. Sorry, I'm mixed up date.
Saturday 19th, Saturday.
What?
Saturday the 19th.
Saturday 19th. So we won't have the teachings. Saturday 19, we won't have the teachings, okay? I thought to change that, schedules that. And thank you. Then we have the practice, of course, practice and commemorating of the anniversary of Khenpo Rinpoche, Mahaparinirvana. And thank you, okay? Thank you very much, everyone, participation. And now we do short dedication. That concluded our first session, and then we started our practices, healing practice. Thank you. Again, if you have this booklet, and it's a really beginning. We're going to do one short praise. That is page 32, page 32. Page 32. By this merit, may all obtain the omniscience, may defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the strong waves of the birth, the origin is sick, the death. From the ocean of the samsara, may I free all beings.